Hello and welcome to Age of the Ring League Season 2 cast. Now, you may be wondering, why am I casting and why am I not actually uploading my gameplay in this case? So, the reason is very simple. I'm stupid. When I was playing this particular series, I recorded the audio, but not the actual desktop, the image. So, the only thing I have is literally 1 hour recording of black screen and some audio in the background, so I don't think that would provide for entertainment video. So as such, I will cast this particular series I played versus Thena. So I'm on host, he's off host, he got to the second pick, the counter pick, but while almost everyone thinks that Rivendell counters the Gondor, I think it's quite the opposite. Gondor counters Rivendell, so hey, despite him having the second pick, I actually get to counter him, so that's pretty nice. So, Gondor versus Rivendell on small map, so few things can happen. He can either do like normal start, like 4 farms, do line gathering, brilliant encampment, nothing special, or he can go rush me with some bounders, which means I would have to go like 3 farms into stables to fend them off. But if I did that, then he could, for example, try like 2 farms into creeping, followed by a sword, and then just push on horn with his sword and pike, and then I would basically be dead. So I decided to play this fair defensively and just go the standard 2 farms into barracks and go into creep, and then push with my own contour group on horn into his base. So Thena did 3 farms into 2 brilliants, into 4 farm, into line gathering, as you will see in a second, so fairly aggressive build. Meanwhile, as I said, I went 2 farms into barracks, 4 farm, and then the stables is currently being built. Okay, so at this moment I got pretty scared because I saw double bounder going my way. Luckily I managed to intercept one of the bounder battalions, but I thought it would be best just to keep on moving and hit him, so I don't get bogged down in my base. He gets 1 farm, well, it's get deleted, and in case of the second farm I'm gonna pick rebuild. So like when your horn is obviously better because you can use it both offensively and defensively, but like I know he went quite like with aggressive build, which means his economy is not the best, which means if I manage to save one of my 2 farms, that means I will be ahead and not him. Okay, so I clean up those hobbies pretty nicely. I already got cavalry. My control group is hitting his base. I got lucky. He has a nice hole between his line gathering and the farm. I'm obviously very greedy, so instead of just playing it safely and going for the farm, I decided to take down Duna Gathering. Not the best move, I didn't get it. At the same time, Thena decided to now play more defensively, and he was spamming Turkish archers. I'm not advising to get like Turkish archers at all. I don't know why people are getting them. Like at the moment they're probably the worst archer in the game, like the worst damage output in the game. You could maybe say that Goblins archers are worse, but they got some extra range which actually makes them usable right now, so they are probably better than Turkish archers. Another thing with Turkish archers, you can't really spam them. I mean, you can, but if you spam them, then you probably won't have enough like melee, like bounders and brilliant pikes for cover to actually counter attack. You will see in the second that he can actually defend quite nicely with his archer spam. But like in the next few minutes, he won't be. It will be totally impossible for him to counter attack, and he will be bogged down in his base. So at this moment, I'm running 2 barracks and a stables. I have 2 massive holes next to my productions, which could be exploited, but luckily I'm on the offense, so that will be fine. I think I trampled some of his archer with my calf. He was forced to switch the line to pike to protect his Turkish archers some time ago. I actually got his. Did I get his line? Yeah, I think I got his line gathering, so he was forced to rebuild it, which means I stopped coming of his cavalry for like, what, maybe a minute? I don't know if it was worth it in the end. Like, I lost those 2 battalions early on without really achieving anything. Probably that's why he is still in the game. otherwise it would not be looking great for him, because he spent like what, 3 Hobbits battalion to attack me and he got only 1 farm. But like he managed to defend himself quite nicely, so now it's maybe not equal. I think I have an upper hand right now, like the initiative is on my side, but the game is not yet done. Now, as you can see, like I mentioned before, like he can't really attack because he made so many archers and he didn't have melee, so now he's kind of forced to push with the archers, which is less than ideal. Now, I knew I dealt some economic damage, so there was no point of really harassing more, because like the more you harass at certain points, like you end up feeding more than actually benefiting from it. So I decided to do just one big push, and I hope to deal them as much damage as I can. Now, as you know, I pick Rebuild first, and Rebuild goes into either the Trebuchet or the Ithilien Garden. Now, in retrospective, I probably made a mistake. I should have picked the Ithilien Garden. The reason is, like, I'm not really interested in destroying his production right now, and if I pick the Ithilien Garden, like those Ithilien Rangers you get from Ithilien Garden is like double the damage of the normal Ithilien Rangers, and they get buffed by 50% from that garden they spawn in. So I could easily delete Archis Dunedains with the spawn-in Rangers, and instead, like, this Trebuchet didn't really achieve anything. Luckily, I'm kinda winning this fight, like his Dunedains are focusing on the Trebuchet instead of my units, so he's not really getting value out of them right now. I'm sending more units into the middle, like I know I'm ahead, so I can just do it freely, even if I'm down trading, then it's fine. Got some stuff on the sides. My first hero is Beregond, obviously, to one-shot the Dunedain. Like, I think every archer hero level 1 one-shots Dunedain, and like, because the Dunedain are like the responsible for the most of the early game of Rivendell, it's quite good to like absolutely like what kill them in 12 shots, because there are 12 units in battalion, so every shot from my archer hero hurts Rivendell player a lot. Now, as you could see, like this game was getting quite clumpy. I was trying to push him in the middle, now he tries to counter attack with his army in the middle, so I just got some Chetwood Hunters from the inn. Like, I didn't feel like I needed archery range, and the game is already over. Well, alright, game number 2. Man, it's so difficult to cast those games, because like the game itself is so fast-paced. It's extremely difficult to not only like tell everything I want to tell, but also like pay attention to the game, what's going on in it, and like commentate over it. It would be great if you had a pause in the replays, but unfortunately EA didn't think about it, so it is what it is. In the end, the best I can do is just press escape, but I don't think it's the best solution to the problem. Okay, so second game, Isengard versus Lothlorien. Thena is on host, I get to counter pick. When your opponent goes Isengard, and I think it's no brainer to either go Lothlorien or Misty Mountains. It's like such a difficult matchups for Isen. So my first protest here. I'm Lothlorien. I don't care what's going on at the start, because I'm probably gonna be fine. I'm going 3 farms into barracks. I'm going for pikes to creep Giles in case he goes works. Now Thena goes for 4 farms, 2 clan steading, and from what I remember, I think he's going to creep. Normally I would say like 4 farms into double barracks into creeping, and extremely greedy, but at the same time, like, there's not much he can do, like going early on into Lothlorien anyway, so it's probably like not that bad decision from him. Okay, I was a bit worried that he may try some sort of rush, so I decided to just make 1 archer just in case. 1 Lothlorien archers keeps the Danish hobos away. So I'm creeping, he's creeping. Now I'm making swords so I can follow the sword. I also follow the pike with a sword. I'm 4 farms, barracks, I'm going for a stables right over here. I'm only getting 8 per tick, but it doesn't really matter. I put it in the safe place, and that 8 per tick is just enough to like counteract the inflation I get from building extra Malorn. Now, Thena, surprisingly, he's going for 3 production buildings on 4 farms, which I usually don't recommend. But I think building a lot of production buildings at a very little amount of farms, the AotR thing to do, and from what I am aware, he's been grinding out AotR as of late. So if you play like certain mods or the game version, like you're gonna pick up some habits. Like I get to experience it myself when I was playing a lot of 202 at the last days of the 8.3.1, when a lot of people switched to 202 for the time being. Okay, I crept another Wargler, and he decided to go straight after my base after his first creeping, which is fine. It's already pretty late as well, and he sent his second control group to the right to clip another Wargler. Now, on the left, I decided to use the Horn at this point because I just wanted to get values out of my tier 1s, and I think like whatever he sends into my base, I'll be fine. So there was no point of saving tier 1s for volley. Now, I parked my cavalry in front of his Uruk pick to trample everything that comes out, or to delay it, because like he would probably have to stop the production if they were just coming out, but the cavalry was outside of the Uruk pit. It's one of the problems, like dispersing your production buildings. Like I ideally want to build them next to each other so I can get sword and pike at the same place, so the sword doesn't get trampled because he's far away from the pike. Now, over here, I forgot to actually show it, but something weird happened. Like he pushed me with one of his control groups, pike and the sword, and instead of picking Horn and trying to go for those like 2 trees and maybe stables, like buying torches, he went for a vision, and it didn't really do anything. He got 1 farm and then he had to pull back his units, so that was really not great. At the same time, I got this farm. I don't think I really get anything else at this point. We are equal on power points. He got his cavalry out as well. He's on 2 clan steadings, Uruk pit and work pit. He's not currently producing. Meanwhile, I'm on double barracks and the stables. Now, a lot of people like to spread out their production buildings as Lorien, but like I only put my first Galatian garrison the way it products the mass resources. Like the second barracks I put next to it, just so I can get immediately my pikes and sword together and send them away. Also, this way it's far more defensible. Like the Lorien production buildings are so squishy that it's always I don't think it's a good idea just to spread them like most people do. Now, as you can see, I built a Malon tree quite far away from my other monastery, and it wasn't intended. I actually accidentally selected builder with my control group and sent him to his base, so I was like, you know, might as well build a Malon here while the builder is there. And it's actually gonna be quite a big issue for him, because if he pushes into it, he gets stunned. Now already I got well on it, so I can heal mid-combat for some reason. So it's gonna be quite a big issue for him. I'm pushing from the top, horning my control group together with Calf. My Calf dies to Rook Scouts, because why not? Okay, so my Calf is dying to archers, his Calf is dying to my archers as well. I think that's one of the issues with Age of the Ring. Like, not only Calf is extremely squishy, like tier 1 Calf, but also their behavior is so clunky, which makes them not that great. It's 900 CP to 650. I use a very balanced tier 2 summon to try to close the game. I don't know why Age of the Ring is so insisted on like buffing other tier 2 summons. I don't think it's a good idea to have almost game closing tier 2s, but hey, it is what it is. At this point he has 200 active CP versus my 665. Like, I got faction advantage in this case, and I don't think there is nothing he can do at this point, and I think he will call GG very soon. Yep, GG. Game number 3. It is me on host playing as Haradwaith versus Thena as Misty Mountains. So, the third game of the series, like both of the players get to blind pick. You actually don't know what your opponent is gonna pick. And I got lucky enough to get Haradwaith into his Misty Mountains. So unfortunately for Thena, this game he got counter, well, maybe not counter picked, but he got countered 3 times in a row. Okay. So as Haradwaith, you have quite a lot of options against Misty. You can either go Tribals, Corsairs, and you could even go Mahouts, but I think with the Mahout nerfs, it's probably gonna be the less optimal choice. I think they're still gonna do alright if you don't make a mistake and like feed them to goblins. But like, I go for the safe option. I just gonna spam some Tribals. And while I usually like the Corsairs, I'm not gonna go Corsairs because later on in this game I will already wanna get some Golden Pavilion to get some birds and scorpions. You know, like it's a big map, so it's ideal for the bird and for some scorpions to just move around on the flanks, intercept some goblins, kill some tunnels. I started with 4 farms into double Haradwaith outpost. I think Thena started with... Okay, he's doing 3 farms with 3 Moria Goblin Cave. I think now he's gonna build a 4th farm somewhere on the left side. He's sending 1 Goblin Battalion to scout into my base. I think it's probably the best way of playing like Misty Mountains, just send 1 battalion of goblins into his base, so you know what your opponent is doing. And also they have to like chase this battalion with their much more expensive unit most likely. Like, goblins together with Sylvans are the fastest infantry at the start of the game, so they're always pain to catch. Now, I'm sending my Haradwaith warlords across the map, but like, I don't want to get surprised by some wolf packs, you know, they are probably the worst cavalry in the game, but still, like, their strong side is actually the element of surprise, because nobody like expects them, because they are simply that bad. So, just in case, I'm not switching my boys yet, in case I get to notice any wolf packs. Thena's attacking from the left side with his forward tunnel. I don't think he's building on the... No, he's building on the right. I don't have vision on that left tunnel. I don't exactly know where it is. I only know that it is there because he attacked me from that direction. I don't have vision on the right tunnel. I'm pushing into his base. I have 4 battalions of tribal swords. I felt like it will be enough to at least take down his tunnel, and it will be enough, but as you're gonna see in the second, those goblins gonna eat up on my tribals. 1 warlord gets sniped by the fortress. You actually have to manually target the warlord if you wanna snipe him. So I think he did it manually because like otherwise it's almost impossible for the fortress to target him. I decided to tank a little bit with my warlords because they're more tanky than the average tribal, but at the same time if you lose the warlord then like entire battalion goes down. Thena is trying to harass me from the... I don't know if there are goblins from the middle or from the right side. I think those are goblins that were at the left originally. He's gonna get 1 farm. I have some archers to defend. Now I'm still worried he's either gonna go trolls or wolfpack at this point, so I got 1 pike in the middle. They ain't gonna win against goblins, but if you put them in porcupine they can tank for ages. Especially that fat warlord with his 100% armor buff from Porcupine and a defensive stance. Now, I'm pretty in good spot, so I decided to finally to already go for that golden pavilion to get that scorpion. Like, there is not really much he can do about it. Sure, if he gets enough goblin, then he can probably kill it. But it would be perfect situation for him. Like, otherwise he has to go like Mountain Orglodge, and like he still has to catch that scorpion if his snow works. So there's probably not much he can do at this point with that scorpion. I'm gonna get birds soon to force him to make archers. Thena, meanwhile, is going for the troll cave straight to level 2. Like, trolls in general are very good against Harad, because they can two-shot the warlords. You can never go wrong with either snow trolls or Gundabad stone trolls. My scorpion is off the left side, destroying some tunnels. I'm trying to push at the same time from the right and from the left. Although I don't think this push on the right side will do much. I already have a bird, so if he wants to attack me and climb on my buildings, he needs to get rid of that bird first. Which means he needs to get some archers into my base, which is less than ideal for him. I'm 4 power points ahead of him at this point. Like, goblins and orcs used to feed a lot. That was changed. Now instead of feeding a lot, they still feed. So you still need to be very careful what you're actually going to do with your goblins and Mordor orcs, because if you lose too many of them, then your opponent is gonna be ahead of you in the power points. That's not good. Okay, Thena is going straight for those stone trolls, which is like, usually it's not a bad call, like, because they are very strong. But like, he's a bit behind, and I get tier 2, I get a scorpion in his base, I use the venom spray to decrease the armor on that building, and basically I use my fair and balanced unit to deny his very first fair and balanced unit. I'm 725 CP to his, I don't know, I think it was 400, 500, and at that moment he decides to call GG. Yeah, I think that is it for today. Let me know if you actually enjoyed the cast. Let me know if you didn't enjoy the cast, because I don't think like I'm that good at it. But if you guys like it for some reason, then let me know. Maybe I would try to cast more games and actually get good at it. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you for watching. See ya.